All right, so this was posted on the Canadian Report back in October 14th. It made its rounds. People were like, blah, blah. Okay, that's really scary, but come on. Now, this is like a link aggregator, kind of like Drudge, but I just need to read this. We need to read this. So this was leaked, supposedly info into Justin Trudeau, Crazy's, 19 plan for 2021. All right, so let's read this. It says, Dear Removed, I want to provide you some very important information. I'm a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada. I sit within several committee groups, but the information I am providing is originating from the Strategic Planning Committee, which is steered by the PMO. Now, I'm going to read this fast because I have a lot to get through, and I want to get through all of it. And it's going to get really, really scary. Okay, but again, there's no reason to be scared, I don't think. I feel okay about this. I need to start off by saying that I'm not happy doing this, but I have to. As a Canadian, and more importantly, as a parent who wants a better future for not only my children, but for the other children as well. It's the whole, he's a liberal because he's all like, it takes a village, right? The other reason I am doing this is because roughly 30% of the committee members are not pleased with the direction this will take Canada, but our opinions have been ignored and they plan on moving forward toward their goals. They have also made it very clear that nothing will stop the planned outcomes. The roadmap and aim was set out by the PMO and is as follows. Phase 1. In secondary lockdown restrictions on a rolling basis, starting with major metropolitan areas first and expanding to outward. This is already happening right now, November 2020. New York is shutting down schools, they announced today. California is in their second lockdown. The other communities, states, metropolitan areas are going into their second lockdown now, November 2020. Rush the acquisition of or construction of isolation facilities across every province and territory expected by December 2020. Now, you might say, this is just for Canada. Hold on to your hats. Daily new cases of COVID-19 will surge beyond capacity of testing, including increases in COVID-related deaths following the same growth curves expected by the end of November 2020. Complete and total secondary lockdown, much stricter than the first and second rolling phase restrictions, that was the one talked about up here, expected by the end of December 2020, that's next month, or early January 2021. Reform and expansion of the unemployment program to be transitioned into the Universal Basic Income Program expected by Q1 2021. That's when they start. That's when helicopter Ben Bernanke and all of his friends start getting, firing up the helicopters and dropping money over all of the population. See, this is not just the U.S. This is talking about Canada, but it's going to be for everywhere, guys, everywhere. Universal Basic Income is when everyone gets paid to do nothing. Everyone gets paid to do nothing. Projected COVID-19 mutation and or co-infection with secondary virus referred as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection expected by February 2021. We don't even know if this is going to happen, but they're already predicting it. And if you've seen the trailer for the movie, was it Songbird? Is that it? Songbird? Someone in the chat post that up. Go watch that trailer after this. Make a note, write it down. I think it's Songbird. Go watch that movie trailer coming out. I think it's December, right? Like next month. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not in the chat right now, so I'm reading this. Daily new cases of COVID-21 hospitalizations and COVID-19 and COVID-21 related deaths will exceed medical care facilities. How do they know that? They just know it because they're planning it. Enhanced lockdown restrictions, referred to as third lockdown, will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including inter-province and inter-city, expected Q2 2021. So full travel restrictions will be imposed, including inter-province and inter-city. That's going to be a hard one to swallow. And they can do this in Canada. They can do this in Canada, and I'll tell you why they can't do it here. We'll go through that. It's just, hold on to your hats. It's going to get more fun. The ride's just going to get more interesting. Transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program expected mid-quarter 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns, inventory shortages, large economic instability expected Q2 2021. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as major roadways to establish travel checkpoints, restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area expected by Q3 2021. Now, there it all goes. Let's read this guy's synopsis. Along with that provided roadmap, the Strategic Planning Committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor, one that would change the face of Canada and forever alter the lives of Canadians. What we were told was that in order to offset what was essentially an economic collapse on an international scale, that the federal government was going to offer Canadians a total debt relief. This is how it works. The federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, woohoo, which all funding will be provided to Canada by the IMF. That's the International Monetary Fund. If you have been paying attention to the International Monetary Fund lately, if you think this is crazy, they have called for a new Bretton Woods. This has been in the news. If you've been paying attention, you have seen this. They have been calling for a new Bretton Woods. They're probably doing it right now. This is where the whole reset is coming from, the International Monetary Fund. Okay, under what will become known as the World Debt Reset Program. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, what do we get behind door number one, Johnny? The individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. The individual would also have to agree to partake in the COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule, which would provide the individual with unrestricted travel and unrestricted living under a full lockdown through the use of Canada's Health Pass. And they will have something similar here. Committee members asked who would become the owner of the forfeited property and assets in that scenario and what would happen to lenders or financial institutions. We were simply told the World Debt Reset Program will handle all of the details. Several committee members also questioned what would happen to individuals if they refused to participate in the World Debt Reset Program or the Health Pass or the vaccination schedule. And the answer we got was very troubling. Essentially, we were told it was our duty to make sure we came up with a plan to ensure that would never happen. We were told it was in the individual's best interest to participate. When several committee members pushed relentlessly to get an answer, we were told that those who refused would first live under the lockdown restrictions indefinitely, and that over a short period of time, as more Canadians transitioned into the debt forgiveness program, the ones who refused to participate would be deemed a public safety risk and would be relocated into isolation facilities. Once in those facilities, they would be given two options: participate in the debt forgiveness program and be released, or stay indefinitely in the isolation facility under the classification of a serious public health risk and have all their assets seized. So, as you can imagine, after hearing all of this, turned into quite the heated discussion and escalated beyond anything I have ever witnessed before. In the end, it was implied by the PMO that the whole agenda will move forward no matter who agrees with it or not. That it won't just be Canada, but in fact, all nations will have similar roadmaps and agendas. That we will need to take advantage of the situations before us to promote change on a grander scale for the betterment of everyone. The members who were opposed and ones who brought up key issues that would arise from such a thing were completely ignored. Our opinions and concerns were ignored. We were simply told to just do it. All I know is that I don't like it, and I think it's going to place Canadians into a dark future.